You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Jacqueline has the night off. Our top story this evening, more drama unfolds within the Manatee County School Board. Now, one member is calling for a re-election of the board's chair and vice chair positions following a dispute between board members that ended up in the hands of law enforcement. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick has the story.
The Manatee County School Board called today's special meeting so that they could hear a termination hearing for a bus driver, Jerome Heaven, that was convicted of soliciting prostitution about a month and a half ago. Instead, this meeting turned into 3 hours of bickering and fighting and ultimately nothing getting accomplished.
We need to hold our board leadership to a higher standard.
The drama started just minutes into Friday's meeting. Charlie Kennedy calling for a re-election of the board's chair and vice chair.
I'm not trying to remove anyone. This is just about the perception of this school board.
This video is what sparked Kennedy's surprising motion. It shows board members Scott Hopes and Dave Miner arguing in the district parking lot following a school board meeting earlier this year.
I was exposed to an individual that was in a state of rage and anger. And so I am more than offended by the basis with which you're making the motion.
Hopes claiming that Miner tried to run him over, then allegedly making a comment to police about having a gun in his car.
This is about, in a time of heightened awareness and fear, it was just the wrong time to reference a firearm on school board property.
Things got heated. The school board split on whether or not a re-election was in order.
This is really not about what Mr. Hope said, I'm sure. This is about a coup. This is about getting rid of somebody who questions a lot of things.
This is about, if things are not settled, which it sounds like they're not, this is about putting the position of power aside until that is settled.
After 2.5 hours of debating and fighting, the board ultimately decided to table the re-election motion until the April 10th meeting. As for that bus driver Jerome Heaven's termination hearing, that's also been postponed until April 10th. Reporting in Manatee County, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. The Sarasota County School District is introducing a new 5-point safety plan for all of its schools. After the end of this school year, a new school resource deputy program will be implemented, putting a permanent armed guard in every campus from elementary to high school. The district says it's still working with the sheriff's office to determine the details of who these guards will be, but they are choosing between off-duty, retired, or newly trained officers and deputies. Today we went to Philippi Shores Elementary School to see what staff and parents thought of the new plan.
I haven't formulated a full opinion on that. My bottom line is I'd like to keep the kids safe, and whatever measures the ones in charge take, I will, support.
The district is also working with the sheriff's office to implement a school guardian program. This would allow certain school employees to be armed under very specific criteria. Sarasota County Fire Rescue investigating the cause of a brush fire near Hawkins Road in Sarasota County. The fire started at around 1 o'clock this afternoon on a 10-acre piece of property. About a third of that property was on fire, but it was quickly contained. Fire season is quickly approaching because of the drier spring weather, and that's why the fire department is warning people to be aware of their surroundings.
Be careful with any outside burning, particularly if you're just thinking you're having a harmless campfire. Things can get out of control, so we just want to be very smart about that.
And that fire has since reignited, and fire rescue are currently working to put it out again. All right, let's get a check on our forecast now with Steve Newman, who's in for Bob tonight. Steve?
Hey, Scott, we do have that fire weather warning in effect for Manatee County and Charlotte County, but not for Sarasota or even Hillsborough County. Temperatures across the state right now warming up from the little cool day we had yesterday. It's 7 degrees warmer than it was at 6 o'clock yesterday. Fort Myers, 9 degrees warmer. And across our viewing area, 6-7 degrees on average, some 4 or 5 degrees warmer. But you get the hint. The warming trend has set in that will last right on through the weekend. We do have a few high clouds up to the north and a little smoke plume from maybe some agricultural burning down blowing over Marco Island. But other than that, pretty dry across the state. Not a single raindrop is falling in the Sunshine State. If you're heading out tonight or staying at home having that barbecue, be very careful, as you just heard, if you are having a barbecue. It will not be as cool tonight and not as windy. Temperatures right now cooling off into the upper 60s. We'll have lows pretty close to 50 degrees tonight. Our complete weekend weather outlook coming up, Scott.
All right, thank you so much. A follow-up now to a story we told you about last year. There are 2 large holes in a parking lot of a popular shopping center off Cortez Road in Bradenton. Now, business owners say these holes have been there since before 2017, and no one is doing anything about it. We talked to people who work in that plaza and people who shop there. They are frustrated about the potholes there. We're going to have much more in this story coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. In other news tonight, one of the biggest issues plaguing the Suncoast is a lack of affordable housing. But the Sarasota Housing Agency is looking to do its part to provide apartments for those working families. They provide public housing in the city and the county. In the past decade, the Housing Authority worked on this issue, but overall, the effort to get working class families into affordable homes has slowed down. Now they're working on a 3-acre development located in the Rosemary District that will provide 150 affordable rental units. The Housing Authority's president says the key now is trying to access the money needed to build it.
We've applied to the state to get very competitive tax credits to help finance that. That's looking promising, but we still need other sources of funding. The city has committed $3 million. The
organization also brought in an expert in the field of affordable housing to help come up with solutions to help alleviate the problem. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, the state releases the unemployment numbers for the state. We'll tell you how the working class is doing across Florida. Plus, people from all over the country are gathering in Washington, D.C. for the March for Our Lives rally. We'll talk to one group of girls who are leaving tonight from the Suncoast.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $23,999. Or save big and get $10,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him. It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Happening in Florida, the Constitution Revision Commission is no longer considering a proposal to remove funds for the state's anti-smoking campaign. But anti-smoking groups are not letting their guard down yet until this commission fully finishes its work.
If this proposal were to pass, the only winners would be big tobacco. And we really want to see our kids never start smoking. We're doing really good. We have a very low youth rate right now. And if we can keep it that way, we will continue to see large health benefits here in the state of Florida.
The anti-smoking mandate has been in the state constitution for more than a decade now. It was voted in after the legislature drastically scaled back funding for the advertising campaign, which is funded from a multi-billion-dollar settlement the state reached in 1997 with the tobacco industry. Florida's jobless rate is remaining steady. The state's unemployment rate for February was 3.9%. That's lower than the national rate of 4.1%. The latest estimates say there are about 398,000 unemployed people out of a workforce of nearly 10.2 million. However, Florida's overall growth rate for the last 12 months was about 2%, which was the 10th highest rate in the nation. Up next, we'll check your weekend forecast with meteorologist Steve Newman. Stay with us.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a digital content manager to join our newsroom leadership team. CMS experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Well, Steve, the weekend has finally arrived, and we got great weather.
Is it going to be great? It is going to be about the best weekend we've seen in a while. And taking a look at Easter weekend, which is the next weekend, we may have some rain on Saturday, but Easter should be just like tomorrow and Sunday will be.
Awesome.
That's the long range. Let's take a look at out of Sarasota Bay today. A lot of boats darting back and forth across the bay. A good day to be out there because the winds were easing up, the air was dry, the sun was out, and all was right with the world. We do have a little high fire danger, though. I want to thank all you viewers that send in your photos to pics at mysuncoast.com. Sam Frazone. It's a great pic from sunset last night. You can see the moon up there. Awesome looking in the sky tonight. It's the Sarasota Bay sunset. I want to thank Ray Collins, our colleague and my dear friend, for sending this picture from Ed Smith Stadium yesterday, the Orioles game. And I also want to thank Lee and Chung for this Pirates versus Blue Jays game. Right at sunset, you can see those beautiful clouds at sunset and the contrails in the sky behind. Currently at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, 69 degrees, the humidity 35%, the dew point 40, which is still very dry, and the winds are still around 5, 10, maybe 15 miles an hour, but they will slacken off as we move through the weekend. Our high this afternoon, 74. Last night's low, 44. Cooler than normal on both counts. We like it to occasionally get cooler than normal because we hardly ever see that anymore. And current temperatures across the state. It's 74 at Miami, down at Key West 72. 60s up in the Panhandle and Jacksonville with 69. And across our viewing area, we've got pretty much upper 60s to mid 70s at Lake Placid. A little cooler there out in the Keys. Now we take a look at the fire danger, and there is for another couple, 3 hours here until 9 o'clock tonight, a fire weather warning for Manatee County, not for Sarasota County, but is for Charlotte, not for DeSoto, not for Hardy, not for Hillsborough, and for some reason they think the high fire danger is up for Pinellas County. But that will expire, but the danger continues somewhat tomorrow. Our humidities will come up, but it's still very dry. Be careful because it's going to be a great weekend to go outside and enjoy everything the Suncoast has to offer. Just be careful with fire in your barbecues and everything else. Across the nation, a little rain and snow in the northeast, but nothing to speak of. This could be a stormy situation developing over Texas tomorrow, and also more rain coming into the Pacific Northwest. And you can see this bulge of warmth, this high pressure is building in, and that little wave in the jet stream that coddled the northeaster is moving away. These are your weather headlines. It's going to be not as cool tonight. I should say cool. Last night it wasn't really cold with a low of 44. And for the weekend, it's going to get warmer right on through early part of next week, in fact. And the fire danger will ease, and we'll show you why now. High pressure is still to the north of us, and these northeast winds are continuing. But as this high drifts over us in the next 24 hours, winds will go more calm. But as it moves offshore, it sets the stage for southerly winds to develop and bringing in warmer air from down in the subtropics. We'll also see here, we've got the front to the north of us. It's not going to make it. There's another front latched onto it back over the western United States. It could bring us somewhat cooler temperatures on Tuesday night and Wednesday, but it's really not going to be a big deal. No rain for at least a week's time. East to southeast winds 10 knots. Tomorrow seas 2 feet, a light chop on bay and inland waters. Beach temperature 75. That's what we're talking about. Water temperature 68 today. It'll probably warm up in the next few days into the low 70s. Here's my forecast for tonight. A few high clouds, but otherwise mostly clear and cool. Low temperature 50 degrees, and we should be 59. That's where we'll be tomorrow night, though, by the way. And for tomorrow, a beautiful sunny day. It'll be warmer, 77 degrees, right on the money for normal, and a ditto 77 on Sunday, as you can see on our 7-day outlook. 2 really mild days, then it gets a little bit warmer and a little more humid on Monday. And here comes that cool front coming in from the west, dropping our overnight temperatures just a few degrees. But look at us, the days, once we get into the 80s, we stay there right on into Easter weekend. Looks like we might get some showers on the Saturday before Easter in the morning, maybe late showers from Friday into Saturday, but Easter at this point is looking pretty darn good. Scott?
All right, Steve, thank you. Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan's bipartisan legislation adding $8 million to combat toxic algae blooms has passed Congress. Red tide has hit parts of the Suncoast several times in the last several months. It's out there right now in some areas. 4 different beaches have reported the death of fish due to red tide. It's also contributed to manatee deaths this year in Florida. These algae blooms caused $82 million in economic losses to seafood, restaurant, and tourism industries each year in the United States. Some Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School students are already in Washington ahead of tomorrow's March for Our Lives, prepping for tomorrow and meeting with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Camilla Burnell has a report from Washington.
Think we're getting ready to go?
Students from across the country are flooding into the nation's capital to fight for stricter gun control laws.
There's still changes to be made, but this is one small step through a big journey.
Survivors of last month's deadly school shooting in Florida organized the march, hoping their activism would inspire thousands of others to join them.
I'm expecting us to have our voices heard and for them to start making small steps to ban assault weapons and to make us feel safe again.
And to get their point across, some students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School made their case to lawmakers on Friday.
That's just a first step in a road of a very long journey.
But the students want more. They're asking for a ban on assault-style rifles, a restriction on ammunition sales, and stricter background checks.
To you, the politicians in Washington, for not hearing our cries for justice, enough is enough.
In addition to the march in Washington, organizers say there will also be more than 800 events across the U.S. and overseas.
I think it's great to see the unity from all over the country and all over the world just for our school, and I never imagined this would happen.
In Washington, I'm Camila Burnell.
Preparations for tomorrow's March for Our Lives event happening right now as students across America band together for change. Students are motivated. They have started traveling to the nation's capital, but for those who can't make it to Washington, local marches are taking place in cities all across the country, including here. The purpose, again, to urge lawmakers to seriously tackle the nation's gun issues. Close to 20,000 people say they will be marching and demonstrating at Marina Jack tomorrow morning. We talked to one of the organizers for the March for Our Lives Sarasota rally. She's a mother who says she's had enough. She says she works and specializes in grief and those with mental health issues and believes gun violence and school safety is not a mental or gun issue, it is a human issue.
A lot of the mentally ill are those that tend to be vulnerable in our community, and I've seen it firsthand. And so I jumped in because I saw this mom in pain, and I didn't want to just sit back and do nothing. When you poke the mama bear enough times, we wake up and we say no more.
That event in Sarasota gets underway at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Girls Inc. of Sarasota is also taking several girls to the march in Washington. They'll be boarding a plane tonight to head to the nation's capital. Volunteers are working to put the finishing touches on several new homes through Habitat for Humanity. Keller Williams on the Water, Sarasota, and Keller Williams Bradenton working with Give Back Homes and Habitat for Humanity on 2 homes on Tarpon Avenue in Sarasota. These homes will go to 2 families that have been coached by Habitat on how to improve their credit scores and stay up to date on their new mortgages. Volunteers are thrilled to be able to help them do that.
As realtors, we love to give back to the community, and what we're doing for Give Back Homes today and Habitat for Humanity is helping finish off some houses for some people. That is a great contribution back to the community that we want to do. It's something you want to give back all the time to help people out.
The new homeowners and their families are expected to move in over the next few weeks. We'll be right back.
Tonight, the Russia investigation heating up. Now, a major shakeup in the president's legal team as he insists again he'd meet with the special counsel. Plus, after a Wall Street nosedive, what will happen next? World News tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
The 2018 Sarasota County Fair is set to begin March 16th through 25th. This year, there'll be rides for everyone thanks to Bell City Amusements. Experience your favorite entertainers along with some new and exciting acts like the Tiger Encounter, the Kachunga and Alligator Show, comedian ventriloquist Steve Brogan, plus our new and exciting SRQ Schools at its best. And remember, ride arm bands all day, every day. The 2018 Sarasota County Fair, March 16th through 25th. See you there.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Apple wants emojis that represent people with disabilities better. Apple is asking for 13 new additions to the emoji family. They include an ear with a hearing aid, a person in a wheelchair, a prosthetic arm, a service dog, and a person with a cane. Apple said it chose options that are most inclusive to people in 4 main categories: blind and low vision, deaf and hard of hearing, physical motor abilities, and hidden disabilities. But the company notes this is just a starting point and not a comprehensive list of all potential new emojis. Very clever. And it's become a way that we communicate now, using those emojis.
You have to do it, otherwise they don't understand exactly what you said. They can take the message wrong. It's happened to me. Those attending the march in Washington tomorrow are going to have beautiful weather. It'll be seasonably mild, temperatures in the 50s there. Take a look at current temperatures across the east. It's 46 in Washington right now, and a few showers about, but I think tomorrow's march should be great.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for joining us. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. We'll see you again at 11.